Session 375. Deleted. October 26, 1977. 9 p.m. Thursday. Rob notes. This session is deleted from the record. This afternoon, Jane and I took my parents to the hospital in Sarah. Mother for an ear examination. Father to be admitted to the psychiatric ward. Tonight, Jane assumed I would want Seth to talk about my parents, but I told her Seth could discuss anything he wanted to. I planted only a couple of questions to ask. Jane began speaking at a slower pace than she has used recently, with her eyes opening often. Seth said, "Good evening. Now, give us a moment. The man that is left, your father, will be agitated, but then he will feel peaceful. It is almost like a reflex habit, a mechanical one, that keeps him now connected with your mother. There are very dim memories still lingering, confused. These are ghosts of memories, not this man's memories really at all. Ghosts of those memories that still linger because of the physical connection, the relationship between the man who remained and the man personality who did not stay. On the one hand, the woman takes pleasure that he now seems to need her so desperately. On the other hand, she knows subconsciously that the need is actually counterfeit, and she resents this bitterly. In each of her 3 sons, she sees portions of the man she married. They are not, however, open to her. She cannot find what she is after in them, and because of this, she is also angry. She did not want children. Your father did. Now, in a few of his delusions, he was quite content. He imagined his sons as children sleeping. The whole personality who left is aware of the situation, but he is not vitally concerned. Your father began in this life as a whole personality. Various goals were set by him, and these were reached. He left a fragment of himself to satisfy the few lingering requirements. He wanted to be the father of boys. There is some matter here not clear, not distorted or blacked, simply not clear. Concerning the actual desire for the birth of males, however, he wanted to be the father of 3 for his own reasons, rather than the father of 1 or 2 children, you see? Now, and no distortion here from our friend Jane. Your mother was from the beginning a fragment, an offshoot actually, from the personality that she was in her last existence. The offshoot of fragment had to, and chose to, deal with the relationship that then took place between this fragment and your father. His part in it was finished early. Her part was not, and she has chosen this road, all without knowing. Characteristics now being shown impeded the progress of the whole personality to which she is attached. The whole personality had to work these characteristics out in physical terms in order to discover through direct experience where they would lead. The whole personality is a stubborn one, and had to learn in this manner. The vitality of the fragment personality but hints at the overall vitality of the whole self involved. The characteristics are explosive and seemingly overwhelmingly impulsive. simply because by the nature of a fragment, there are a few balancing features, usually instead a one-sided explosive offshoot. These characteristics have in other lives held the personality back. Now, the personality will realize the detrimental nature, and has purged itself, so to speak. The whole personality will be much more free to progress. The characteristics were allowed to run their course. It had been agreed between the mother and the father beforehand. The whole personality of the father did not need to be involved after a certain point, however, and withdraw. There has been a certain release given on the part of the mother, who has taken joy from lack of restraint. There are of course reasons why the three sons were born within the family. The vitality of the mother was of great benefit in many ways to the sons. The fragment also knows that this life is being lived for the particular reason given. A duty is being performed. Certain characteristics and qualities incorporate about a fragment identity for a definite purpose. The fragment is always aware of this, and it is always aware of its inner identity with the whole personality. The analogy is perhaps an old one, but the fragment is like an actor playing a character role, partially lost within it, perhaps disliking the character he plays, and yet, through the part, learning lessons that he will use in his own private life with its greater dimensions. Do you see? Rob said, yes. Seth said, at such a crisis point as is now reached, there is great activity on the part of the whole personality of which the fragment is a part. The coming resolution of the drama brings subconscious backflashes from other lives as well. You are being of strong practical help now, though it may not appear so. By refusing to accept at this point the role that your mother wants you to take. I am not saying, of course, that you should not be as kind and considerate as possible, but that you not try to take your father's place at your mother's demands. She would feel quite trapped if you tried to do so, and in a rage, for you would have betrayed her. If you rose to take his place, then she would be driven to do her battle over. Do you see? Rob said, yes. Seth said, this refusal also in many ways represents your own salvation, or the release at least of several important problems at this point. Any weakness on your part would signal to you the loss of inner independence, the loss of a battle that you had thought over years ago. It could have been a trap, you see. Psychological speaking, and in these terms only, on certain levels, the son desires to replace the father. When the father is vigorous, the son is fearful of retaliation. If the son does not understand himself, then when fear of retaliation is removed, particularly if the mother beckons, then a trap is set. You have literally turned over your emotional affiliation now to Ruber, so you are in this respect free. Still, however, out of pity, the trap is still a probable one. It is a probable one simply because it does exist. For your mother, it would represent nevertheless a betrayal on your part. For she would immediately realize that she had failed in the bitterest of turns, and to her the most ignoble of turns. This applying to her specifically, for she would win you when she was an old woman. The betrayal to her would be bitter. She realized that Rupert makes you an excellent wife. She hates her and loves her for this reason. In one way, when you were born, she was quite content that your father vanished. She did not want children, yet giving birth gave her a sense of power. The only sense of power she had experienced in this existence. And so, she used this power as a weapon when she felt a weapon was needed. The overall personality was not so detached as uncommitted. There has on the other hand been a strong commitment to life on the fragment's part. Now, first of all, in the line concerning your emotions, the meaning is this, that you turned the basic emotional feelings from the mother, as is necessary, transferring them to your wife successfully. If this is not done, then the desire to replace the father is a strong inner problem. It exists for you now, not on your part, because of the successful transference, but on the part of your mother. The three sons incidentally agreed as to their parents, and with full inner knowledge of the circumstances that would be involved. This is also true in Rupert's case, and in all cases. Those who make errors withdraw early as infants. Now, we cannot cover all of this in one evening. Your brother Dick has been connected with your mother in the past, as you know. He and she are part of the same entity. His characteristics are a part of those of that entity. He is strongly a part of her, and was born from her for that reason. In some respects, he is a slightly future version of your mother. Already having gained from her experiences, he is a larger dimension of her, a different expression, a more adequate and productive one. Now, they are twins in time as you experience it. Twins also appears in different times. Do you see? Rob said, yes. Seth said, as a change of environment affects twins, twin A becoming something different again through a given environment from twin B in another environment. So twins born in different times also develop different portions of a basic personality pattern. This is the case here. This son is basically a psychological twin of the mother, but developing a more spacious personality and a more giving nature. This one has progressed so well, with indeed little experience comparatively, that he most probably will become an entity of his own eventually. I have someone explain your entity status. Rupert has now worked on the dream book since Phil's letter. No coincidence. The poetry is an excellent idea, and is serving many purposes. Work on the dream book should now be added daily, however, and the suggestions read before the work is begun each day. The difficulty at the drinking establishment was due mainly to the encounter with the college girl, who is connected with the nursery school. Rupert was caught unaware. Nursery school was connected in his mind with physical discomfort for the reasons earlier stated. The girl's remark of surprise, "I didn't expect to see you here," was taken by the overly conscientious self as just rebuke. He was in excellent condition before the encounter. Rob asked, "Why are his arms bent?" They said, "I did not hear you." Rob asked, "Why are his arms bent?" I thought I had spoken as loudly as usual in asking the question the first time. Seth said, "Give us a moment here." The arms should now begin to release. They have been connected with a feeling of helplessness, mainly centered around his feeling that he has not contributing financially what he should. This month he felt fairly satisfied finally. Had he been working on the dream book also, there would have been some noticeable improvement by now. Because of the financial conditions there also, he is finding himself more capable than he had believed also in dealing with your parents' situation. This will add to his confidence in himself and contribute to an improvement in the arms also. Again, the peanut oil, and give us a moment again. Strength in the arms and hands has improved considerably over the months. Relaxation again is extremely important. Relaxation of the muscles will help release the arms simply because of the initial mental relaxation and affirmation required before physical relaxation is acquired. There is also some self-protective device here still operating. The attempt to shield himself, you see, a lack of confidence. Rob note, Jane made a self-hugging gesture. He has made increasing gains. They have occurred over periods of time, however. If he works on his dream book daily now, for at least 2 hours, this plus the benefit from his classes should give noticeable improvement. Remind him to relax when you notice his body is tense, for often he does not recognize the tenseness. It becomes conscious when you point it out. He will learn to recognize the sensation and try to avoid it. For a week, use the peanut oil each morning. Rob asked, "Just on the arms?" Seth said, "Mainly on the arms and neck-shoulder area. Also, on any other portions if they give difficulty. It can be applied also when he is working on his dream book." If you have no further questions, we can end the session, or if you prefer continue it after a break as you like. Rob asked, "I have just one question. What do you think of the painting of the leaf I just finished, in tempera?" Seth said, "There is a spontaneity there that are allowed yourself, and it is significant." Rob said, "I found myself thinking it wasn't too good a painting." Seth said, "It is a good painting. There is simply a reason why you are not satisfied." Rob said, "I thought there would be, yes." Seth said, "Give us a moment. Also, do not forget your sketching work. This allows for both spontaneity and discipline. You are close to releasing yourself in a particular way through your painting, through your work, and you will find this way intuitively. By close here, I mean very close. It is this very nearness that makes you dissatisfied with what you had just finished, and in a comparison of this with work you will do in the very near future, and no reflection on the leaf painting, except by future contrasts. Some hint of the new appeared in it." Rob asked, "I thought that something like that had happened." Seth said, "I believe that by February, you will be involved in a new concept in your work and engaged in a new series of paintings that will carry you creatively through winter, spring, and perhaps a portion of the summer. You may then take a break or end as you prefer." Rob said, "We'll end it then." Seth said, "My heartiest regards to you both. A fond good evening.